Welcome to U.S. Law Shield News Update in Houston, Texas. I'm Sam Malone. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. Great topics to cover today. Have a comment, have a question, just type it in on the Facebook page right there, and we'll get to it and try to answer it. Joining me today is independent program attorney of U.S. Law Shield, Michelle Byington, a superstar of what we do. Michelle, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Sam?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us via Skype. Now, let's start off with this one. This Sunday, okay, is Mother's Day. And, you know, we're going to get our mom's stuff or our wives' stuff and perfume, maybe soap, maybe clothing, maybe jewelry. But what if somebody wanted to get their mom a gun for Mother's Day, right? Mom, happy Mother's Day. Here's a Ruger. What are the rules and regs for me to buy a gun for my mom? Whether I have my CHL, concealed handgun license, but what if you don't? Walk us through that, Michelle Byington.
Okay. So really, this is just like any other purchase of a gun. You may lawfully gift a firearm to a loved one. There is nothing illegal about that. Now, the tricky part comes in when we go to our favorite neighborhood gun dealer and we fill out that 4473, that required paperwork that we got to fill out in order to buy a gun. Now, when you fill that out, one of the questions says, are you buying this gun for yourself or are you buying it for another person? Now, you may think, well, I'm buying this as a gift, so it's technically for my mom because it's Mother's Day on Sunday. Newsflash, if you haven't gotten a gift, it's time to start thinking about it. Right. But what you need to do is you need to put that you are purchasing that firearm for yourself because you are buying it for yourself with the intent of later gifting it to your mother. So perfectly fine, perfectly legal. Now, what becomes illegal is what's called the straw man purchase. So basically, Sam, if you were to say, hey, Michelle, here's $400, will you go buy me a gun at the local dealer? And I say, sure, here's the money. And I go to fill out that 4473. I'm buying it for you. That's illegal. That will get you in lots and heaps of trouble with the feds. So that is different than a gift. A gift is perfectly legal. Me taking money from you, Sam, to go buy you a gun, not legal.
All right. So, okay, give me the form number again, Michelle Byington. What's the form number again that I want to be careful about and ask for and fill out properly? It's
4473.
4473.
Yeah.
Okay.
And read, I know it's tiny print on those dang government forms, but really take your time to read the questions and answer them accurately, because I know a lot of us will just kind of skim over it and say, yes, 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 no, no, no. Be very, very careful when you're filling that out, because you may make a mistake that will actually end up preventing you from purchasing that firearm.
Ah, man. And then I'm getting it for my mom for Mother's Day. Cat's out of the bag, Ma. I hope you're not watching. But it's still mine for gifting, right? So it's
right. Because
I would have thunk, remember, you're the program attorney. I'm just the schlub on the radio and TV. I would have thunk that I would have
You're just a pretty face, yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, obviously your lens is a little foggy there. But I would have thought, she can't see me on the screen. I would have thunk that would have put Mom's name on there. But no, I'm buying it.
Right.
It's for me, even though on Sunday I'm wrapping it and giving it to dear old Ma.
Exactly, and that is a perfectly legal transaction.
Does it matter, Michelle Byington, whether or not I'm buying a 9mm or a shotgun, a 12 gauge, or an AR-15? Does it matter the kind of weapon?
Makes no difference. You will still fill out that exact same paperwork. You're just going to be going home with a different gun. But it applies to handguns. It applies to long guns. Doesn't matter across the board. If you go to a dealer, you're going to have to fill out that paperwork.
Okay, and I know the answer. I'm just throwing it out there for everybody else. Obviously, when buying ammo, at that point, it really doesn't matter at all, right? Ammo doesn't have the same weight legally, for instance, as the firearm, correct?
That's exactly right. Ammunition is not considered a firearm under federal law, which makes sense. So that is not as heavily regulated as the actual firearm itself.
Okay, now, dear old Mom my mom does live in Philadelphia. And I want to mail Mom. I want to get her a Beretta, you know? And I don't want to mail Mom. I want to mail Mom the gun. But what are the rules and regs, or what should I be careful of? I'm going to buy the gun. I want to mail it to her. Happy Mother's Day. What should I do?
So this is kind of tricky. So we all think, the post office, we can't bring firearms to the post office. But what I would recommend that everybody do is go to one of those private courier services. Go to your UPS, go to your FedEx, and use those sorts of services to ship the firearm, which is perfectly legal to do.
Got it. All right, now on Facebook, because we're on Facebook Live, at Texas Law Shield, Bill just posted up on here, what is the age of the person that you can gift to? Is there an age limit? So maybe instead of Mother's Day, it's going to be someone's birthday or graduation gift, and I want to buy a gun, a Glock. I want to send it. Does the age of the recipient matter of the conversation?
Okay, this is a fantastic question with two different answers. So, number one, we go into an FFL, our favorite neighborhood gun dealer, and we buy a handgun. The federal regulation is you've got to be 21 to purchase a handgun from a dealer. However, if you then decide that you want to gift that to your college kid who is going to be going to college soon and you want to equip them with a handgun for protection, perfectly legal. They just can't go, an 18-year-old just can't go and purchase from an FFL. However, somebody over 21 can purchase it from the FFL and then gift it to an 18-year-old because the 18-year-old can lawfully possess a handgun. And the same thing applies with long guns. Now, the only difference with long guns is that you only have to be 18 to purchase a long gun from a federally licensed dealer. But same rule applies. You can go buy one and then gift it to somebody who is 18. Confusing.
Maybe you could just like rent out your time. You go with the person to the gun store when they buy the gift and just talk about it, because there's a lot of rules and regs.
There are.
And there's a lot of burden on us. We're doing the right thing. We're filling out the paperwork. We're doing, we're sticking to the letter of the law. We just want to make sure we dot all the I's and cross all the T's and stuff like that.
Yes, all of your I's crossed and all your T's dotted.
Heck yeah. Keep your comments coming. Let me jump to the next story with Michelle Byington, independent program attorney, U.S. Law Shield. We're on Facebook Live. So now you bought someone, maybe bought your mom a gun. Maybe you want to take it a step further and learn more about guns and build your own. I'm reading this, right? This is way above my pay grade. I will buy the gun completely put together. But I'm reading a story from Fox San Antonio. It says it takes only a few pieces of metal, some screws and pins, and you can make your own gun. And and that it's perfectly legal and becoming a popular hobby.
It is.
I didn't know this. So what do? I buy the parts and assemble my own gun, right?
Basically, yeah, and it's a very cool hobby that seems to garnering some sort of popularity. I do not build my own guns. I prefer to go to my favorite neighborhood gun dealer and purchase them complete. But there's lots of people out there who like to tinker in their garages on guns, and it is perfectly lawful. You can go out and purchase the lower receiver. So the lower receiver of the firearm is the actual regulated part. The lower receiver, even though useless on its own, is actually considered a firearm under federal law. So that part is regulated. So if you go to a dealer, same thing, you fill out that 4473, go through the background check, then you can go home and basically assemble the parts together, and that's perfectly legal.
Okay. The lower receiver for the, maybe the non-savvy right now, is the lower part where the grip is and possibly the trigger, that section right there.
Correct.
And as you mentioned, Michelle, by itself, it's not really that dangerous.
You can hit somebody with it, maybe.
No, that's about it. Let's go through the rules and regs. If I want to build a gun, can I have my son with me? Let's say I have a young son or young daughter. Are there age limits to being around, quote, building your own gun?
No, not at all. So, a lot of us like to take our children or our nieces and nephews or our grandkids to the gun range to educate them on gun safety, proper use, proper techniques. And I can't stress enough how important it is to have children around good gun safety and good tactical techniques, actually. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with having the kiddos in the garage with you while you tinker with the firearms. Not a problem.
And as far as walking around with it, I know in the state of Texas we have our license to carry, which is you have your CHL. You can walk around with your gun on your belt. But what if I'm walking out of the store or the gun store, I have a low receiver in my hand, I'm missing other parts. It's not in a bag. I'm just walking around and, hey, Michelle, how are you? And I wave to you across the street. Look what I got for $200. Am I in violation of any law because I'm walking down the street with a part of the rifle, part of the semi-automatic?
Well, If it's a lower receiver of a rifle, let's say, we've always been able to open carry that. That's not a problem. A lot of people are shocked to find out that there was never any laws against open carrying a long gun. I mean, if you wanted to walk down I-45 here in Houston with your AR-15 strapped across your back, that's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not violating any laws. So if you walk out of your gun shop and you come out running with your favorite rifle receiver in your hand, not a violation. Now, let's move on to a handgun receiver. Now, handguns are much more regulated here in Texas. As you know, you've got to have an LTC to carry one out in public, out in the open. So the argument is, as long as you have your LTC, not a problem. But what if you don't have your LTC? At that point, it comes down to the argument of this is not a fully functioning firearm yet. There should be no violation of the law. But it really just depends on, the police officer that stops you and then the jurisdiction you're in of whether they want to take it any further.
Michelle Byington, independent program attorney, U.S. Law Shield. We're on Facebook Live. There's a bunch of questions piling up here, like airplanes at Bush Intercontinental Airport when it's foggy out there. So hang on a second. Is there anything that I could do? Once again, we're going back to building your own gun. Is there anything that I could do feature-wise that may be illegal or not proper to do? Because, for instance, you buy a car and I used to be a grease monkey, and there are certain things you can do to make the car faster and maybe beyond, faster than the speed limit or whatever. What can I do to a gun that I shouldn't be doing to make sure I stay totally legal?
The only modification that you could do that would put this into the realm of contraband, basically, you would be in possession of an illegal item, is to make that handgun into a machine gun. It would be turning it from a semi-automatic into a fully automatic. Now, in order to turn a semi-automatic into a fully automatic, you have to have the proper sear to basically drop in to do that, which in and of itself is highly federally regulated. You got to have permission from the feds to own that sort of thing. So if for whatever reason you've got a fully automatic sear in your garage that is not regulated, I would advise to go turn it into the ATF and forget that you ever had it, sort of a thing. But that's really the only sort of modification that you could make that could get yourself into some serious trouble.
I say if you have something like that in your garage, lose our cell phone numbers. Yeah, don't call us. Just bye-bye. Just bye-bye to that one. Hang on a second. Let me get to the Facebook page real quick. Let me go back there for a second. And you got to help me out on this one. What is a ghost gun? Is this? Should I be familiar with this? It says, what about a ghost gun and 80%? I don't know what that one is.
I need more details on a ghost gun. Are these the 80% complete lowers?
I believe so. It says an 80% receiver. I don't know.
That's what you're talking about?
We'll have to find out. What about bump stocks? It says bump stocks are legal. And this is from Jason out there on Facebook. Walk us through, what is a bump stock?
Okay. So basically what that is, and if, keep in mind, I am not a gunsmith by any means. So I do not know the guts of a gun, as many of you probably know. And I'm just a lawyer puke, actually. And so a bump stock basically is the stock that goes right here on a rifle. And that a lot of what they do is they allows for like quick pulls of the trigger, right? To kind of emulate a machine gun. Bump stocks are completely legal. They allow for quick pulls of the trigger. It's bam, 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 bam as it's going up against your shoulder there. Perfectly legal, not a machine gun, because the main difference between a semi-automatic, well, in fact, the only difference between a semi-automatic and then the fully automatic is that with one pull of the trigger, one bullet comes out. That's a semi-automatic. With one pull of the trigger, bullets are sprayed until you release the trigger. That is a fully automatic. So with that bump stock, perfectly legal because it's actually just rapid succession of pulling the trigger with one bullet coming out.
Outstanding. On Facebook Live, keep your questions coming in. Let me jump to this story, our third and final story. And this is sad. This is out of an area called Trenton, Ohio, and this is from Fox 19. A middle school student by the name of Zachary Bolin was sitting on social media at home, in fact, and he saw a picture of a gun. It was actually, I think, an airsoft gun, and he put a like on it. So he's a 7th grade kid. He's looking at social media. He sees a semi-automatic pistol, likes it, happens to be airsoft. The school finds out. This little 7th grade boy is called down and suspended for 10 days.
Unbelievable.
Now, there was a caption of the gun after it said ready, in quotes, R-E-A-D-Y, ready. That's all. He didn't say, I'm going to shoot this person, or I want revolution, or whatever. What kind of laws are there to protect us? Remember the Second Amendment, right? Our rationale.
Yeah, that little old thing. Yeah.
What protects us from liking things where we can just have freedom of speech, Michelle Byington?
This reminds me, I don't know if you remember that case where the kid ate the Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun and got in trouble. And then there have been kids who have just mentioned guns and hunting over the weekend with their family and have gotten in trouble. This authoritarian school system is getting out of control, and they're not allowing students to be individuals anymore and have individual interests. And because it's a firearm, and many people in academia believe that firearms are just the absolute reincarnate of the devil itself, we're really having to be quiet and to go along to get along and not able to express our interest anymore because it's not a popular interest, which is, I think, really stifling individualism in the school system. And this school, I read, has this zero tolerance policy of firearms. Zero tolerance policies are literally the worst thing that could have happened to independent school districts because it does not allow for common sense. It does not allow for independent thinking. It's just like, oh, gun, we don't care what your intent was, you're out.
Freeze that, put that back on the screen there. The school's response. They write out the little form, and the little blue ink, and it says, here's what he did wrong. Quote, liking a post on social media that indicated potential school violence. I'll read it again. Liking a post. This is all this kids in 7th grade. Liking a post on social media that indicated potential school violence.
That's a little attenuated, guys. Come on. That is not an imminent threat. That is liking a firearm. There's nothing wrong with liking firearms. And my heart goes out to this kid and his family. And I hope that they at least threaten some sort of civil rights lawsuit here. Because, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, that's the First Amendment. And that's stifling his First Amendment right. For sure. So there may be something to that.
What advice do you, and I know you're more on the law side of guns. What advice would you give? What would a parent say? You get the call, hello, Mr. Smith, your son or daughter's down here. They have the audacity to like something on social media, and maybe it was a picture of Chuck Connors and the rifleman. He's holding that rifle, and he's in trouble. How do you open up a conversation with educators who are that bent, that weird? What do you say?
Hi, this is Michelle Byington. What the hell is wrong with you? That's how I open the conversation.
Making friends every chance she gets, Michelle Byington. Because I'm like, I would probably lose my mind, so I'd probably have to hire someone.
Yeah.
I have to be Sam Malone. Kim on Facebook, real quick, or because we're on Facebook Live, says, "Wait, the kid didn't even post the pic; he simply liked the post. This is absolutely ludicrous. I hope they contacted an attorney post haste." It's a weird world we live in, Michelle. We're law abiding, and yet we can get in trouble for filling out the wrong part of the form. When we're buying a gift from Ma for Mother's Day, and our sons and daughters can get in trouble for wearing a shirt that says NRA or Marine Corps, as we've seen.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely crazy. I'm sorry.
And that's why we got to stay vigilant and make sure our opinions are heard so that we are not silenced and that this liberal agenda doesn't get any further than it already has gotten, because this is really out of control. And if I were the parents of that poor child, I would be raising all sorts of hell at every PTA meeting, at board meetings. It is just unreasonable, the route these people have taken.
No, I would just be on every radio, television station, social media platform. I'd be talking to every writer, not just in Ohio where it took place, but across America and overseas, to let them know how sick this is. Call those people. Let America know, and let these weirdo teachers know. You're calling them out, right?
Exactly.
Because this is their fault, not that little 7th grade boys. All right, great job. Thank you. Listen, if there's any part of the conversation, we started with buying Ma a gun from Mother's Day. We went into build your own gun, kind of like Build-A-Bear, just more powerful. And then we got into this poor 7th grade kid who liked a picture of a gun on social media and got a 10-day suspension. If you jumped in late, just start it over again and leave your comments as well. We appreciate it on the Facebook page for Texas Law Shield. Michelle Byington, great job as always. You're racking up massive views here. You're very, very popular. I'm just glad to be on your show.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
Independent program attorney, U.S. Law Shield, Michelle Byington. As always, you have any questions or anything, visit the website, uslawshield.com. In Houston, Texas, I'm Sam Malone.